2 Samuel chapter 9. I think Blue felt my nervousness because once Miss Sarah and Mom got up to sing, she sat beside me and grabbed my hand. So to get our God is, I've seen 5-year-olds encourage you. I'll start with verse 1. David said, "Is there yet any that is left of the house of Saul, that I may show him kindness for Jonathan's sake?" My first point I want to look at is the kindness of the king. That I'm glad one day God looked down from heaven and, for Jesus' sake, had mercy on me. And I'm not worthy. And it says, well, I'll give you a little backstory on Jonathan and David. They loved each other. They were like brothers. Their hearts were knit together. It says their souls were knit. And I think Jonathan saw God's anointing rest on David. So even when I don't even think he wanted the crown. But it said, "And there was in the house of Saul a servant whose name was Ziba. And when they called him unto David, the king said unto him, Art thou Ziba? And he said, Thy servant is he. And Jesus said, Is there not yet any of the house of Saul that I may show kindness of God unto him? And Ziba said unto the king, Jonathan hath yet a son, which is lame on his feet. And the king said unto him, Where is he? And Ziba said unto the king, Behold, he is in the house of Machir, the son of Ammiel, in Lodebar. Then King David sent and fetched him out of the house of Machir, the son of Ammiel, from Lodebar. Now then Mephibosheth, the son of Jonathan, the son of Saul, was come unto David. He fell on his face and did reverence. And David said, Mephibosheth. And he answered, Behold thy servant. My second point is the table of the king. I believe Mephibosheth was terrified coming before Saul because David had become king, and Mephibosheth was of the other king's line, and probably thought he was coming to his death. But it said, And David said unto him, Fear not, for I will surely show thee kindness for Jonathan thy father's sake, and I will restore thee all the land of thy father, Saul thy father, and thou shalt eat bread at my table continually. And he bowed himself and said, What is thy servant, that thou shouldest look upon such a dead dog as I am? I was thinking, I go out to these meetings and I see these people, I see lame people, I see paralyzed people, I see people that have all these problems. In Mongolia we had these two girls. We just started a new meeting and their hands are, I don't know what's wrong with them, their hands are stuck together. Their hands are probably the size of blues. And they can't do anything. They fix their hair like this, they drink water like this. Their toes are curled, or they can't even walk. But when we have a meeting, they're so happy, they're so blessed, they have so, I don't know what it is, someone actually came and loved them. I don't know if I got off on that, but I'll continue. Then the king called to Ziba, Saul's servant, and said unto him, I have given unto thee thy master's son all that pertaineth to Saul and to all his house. Thou therefore and thy sons and thy servants shall till the land for him, and thou shalt bring in the fruits, that thy master's son may have food to eat. But Mephibosheth, thy master's son, shall eat bread always at my table. Now Ziba the king's son had 15 sons and 20 servants. Then said Ziba unto the king, According to all that my lord the king hath commanded his servant, so shall thy servant do. As for Mephibosheth, said the king, he shall eat at my table as one of the king's sons. And Mephibosheth had a young son whose name was Micah, and all dwelt in the house of Ziba, were servants unto Mephibosheth. So Mephibosheth dwelt in Jerusalem, for he did eat continually at the king's table, and was lame on both his feet. My final point, I went fast, is the provision of the king. It's a perfect picture of salvation by grace. Someone who is his enemy, the king, David's enemies, he showed mercy, and I'm glad God showed me mercy one day. Mephibosheth, there's another thing I saw this morning when I was reading. I was up early, terrified. But when Mephibosheth was put at the king's table, his legs were covered. His lameness, his sin was covered. And there's a couple verses that I thought about this chapter, 2 verses actually. Thou preparest the table in the presence of my enemy. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. And I'll read you a verse of the song we sang this morning that touched me. From the door of an orphanage to the house of the king, no longer an outcast, in their song I sing. From rags unto riches, from the weak to the strong. I'm not worthy to be here, but praise God, I belong.
Amen.
That was good. I've been thinking about that chapter, I'm thinking about things that I wanted to preach and wanted to say, and I thought about that a lot of times and never got around to looking at it. And I'm glad Lord put on Jacob's heart to do. It's really good. And, I was thinking about what Mommy was saying a minute ago about how that, just like Mephibosheth, how he was crippled, he was in the wrong family, he had no reason to be at the table. But he was, and I like that the last verse says, the end of that chapter says, and was lame on both his feet. So even though he had made it to the table, the Lord had let him come, the Lord had accepted him and received him and forgiven him and everything, but he still was lame. And that was the thing, is like Jacob said, that's been covered by the table, by grace, that's been covered. But he still had that lameness, like Dara was saying. We still have to struggle with the things that we struggle with. But I'm glad that he made it, and that's a really good chapter, and I appreciate Jacob preaching that this morning. Let's go ahead and pray. Lord, we thank you that we can come this morning, Lord. We have a right to come this morning, Lord, because of Jesus Christ. Lord, you've given us that right, and we thank you for it, Lord. We're paid. We can come before you boldly, Lord, this morning. And I appreciate that, Lord. We don't have to be ashamed of our sin, Lord, that's been taken care of and paid for. I thank you for loving us in spite of ourselves, in spite of all the reasons that you had not to, Lord, but you still love us. In spite of the way we do you, Lord, you still love us anyway. I'm thankful for that, Lord. I thank you this morning for your word being preached, and I pray that you touch it, use it in our hearts, Lord. We thank you for everything. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Maybe I think the first upstairs, please. And Ingrid.